It is concerning that the population of the city is not necessarily reflected in the numbers of minorities that are in the department.
Civil rights attorney Terry Gilbert is talking about Cleveland, but he could be describing any one of 50 medium to large cities across the U.S. That's according to USA Today's analysis of census estimates from 2000 and 2010.
We can learn racial and ethnic backgrounds of any job, including police officer, detective, or supervisor.
Ferguson, Missouri sparked a bigger debate about the racial makeup of the police department compared to the community it serves, following the death of Michael Brown and a grand jury's decision not to charge the white police officer who shot him. The USA Today investigation shows many other communities where disparities are just as wide as in Ferguson. The review of the data found that nationally, 12% of police officers are black, same as the general population. But more than 1/3 of those officers are found in just 10 cities. In fact, 1 in every 5 black officers works in New York, Chicago, or Washington. So where does that leave cities like Terry Gilbert's Cleveland, where 66% of the population is black, compared with just 52% of the police force?
I don't think it's the number, the percentages so much, although in an ideal world, the makeup of the police department should mirror the community, just like we want the makeup of juries to mirror the community. But I don't know if that's an achievable goal.
I think you clearly see there are already problems right now. So what we've got to do is we've got to fix this problem. I think the Attorney General said we've got systematic problems. The DOJ report says we got systematic problems. The only way you're going to fix this system is you got to fix it from the top down. It's got to be a holistic change in the way that we do business here in the city of Cleveland.
Something police chiefs in Tampa and St. Petersburg are working on as well. Both their cities have a more than 20-point gap between the percentage of black police and the general population.
The issues that come up in those situations is that someone is more apt to trust an individual that looks like them. And unfortunately, in law enforcement, quite often we're called to a scene to mediate disagreements or to decide who's right and who's wrong. And someone's perception may be that the officer made a decision based on, the color of their skin, sex, some characteristic that they have. They're like, oh, okay. And they're more accepting of that.
You've got to have a diverse police department so you can hear what's coming from the community. But at the same time, I feel that you don't need only an African-American officer patrolling the African-American community. Once they get to know that white officer, Hispanic officer, you're going to build that relationship.
That doesn't mean these chiefs aren't working to increase the number of minorities in their departments, but for cities as physically close as these, there's another problem.
And everybody is in competition for those individuals.
We compete all the time. You have a very small pool of African-American minorities out there, so we rob from each other, so it's mainly just getting everybody involved in it, a small pool.
So how do you fix a problem that plagues so many communities across the country?
One of the issues that's been floated for fixing this is taking some lessons from the U.S. military. They've done a really good job of diversifying their force, and they do that by really pounding on the doors, and they may have 10,000 contacts just to get 100 recruits. So the police departments around the country really need to ramp up their recruiting efforts, which is going to be a big challenge.
And until that challenge is met, Terry Gilbert suggests changing attitudes from the inside out.
I think they really need to deal with their existing department and eliminate the bias, eliminate the kind of attitudes, spoken and unspoken,